Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, you are very welcome. My name is Grace. If you like the vibes on here, make sure that you subscribe and also turn on your bell notification so that you get notified because I am about to do this video in series. So I'm guessing the reason why you clicked on this video is because you are interested to know this whole crazy story. So yeah, make sure that you hit the bell notification. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back and for clicking on this video. And if you do like this video, give it a thumbs up. But like you can tell in the title of the video, I will be basically sharing how I joined a cult unknowingly here in Namibia, in Windhoek, guys. Like, how crazy is that? I joined a cult unknowingly, and this is not a story that I have told a lot of people. Not even more than 10% of my family members know. So I'm just stepping out of my comfort zone to share this story that will probably make me vulnerable to judgment, but I'm sharing so that you guys can be aware and also not fall victim of this cult. And if you want to know what cult I'm talking about, be sure to watch the rest of the video because I am going to mention the cult at the end of the video. But yeah guys, let's get into this video. Light matcha here. You are gonna need a drink for this video. And honestly, I don't even know where to start. Oh my goodness, this tastes so good. This tastes superb. It tastes so good. Wow. I don't know where to start. I didn't prepare. I just thought that I would just come in front of the camera and pour my heart out. But this was a long journey for me, so it won't fit in one video. If I have to make a one video for this, then it's gonna be a long video, and I don't want this to be a long video. And I just want to make sure that you guys are informed and you won't fall into the same trap that I did, because trust me, you might think that you are too smart to be recruited in a cult, but that doesn't matter, honestly. I think what matters is a lot of other factors, like knowing what a cult is, knowing their tactics, and knowing how they recruit people so that you can avoid them. It doesn't matter if you are smart or not, because trust me, there are really intelligent people in that cult, and people that I have met that have actually inspired me in that cult. But anyways, let's go back to where it all began, okay? So I have a cousin. This cousin lives in Windhoek with her parents, and yeah, like I said, she's my cousin, so her parents are like my family. Guys, I'm disclaimer, I am bad at storytelling, but I'm gonna try my best. So I would really appreciate if you guys can bear with me, hey? Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's get into it. Okay, so this happened in 2018. At that time I was studying medicine, and I was living at the hostel at the School of Medicine campus. So every out weekend, not out weekend, wait, what? I have younger sisters who have out weekends. That's why maybe I'm referring to it as an out weekend, but like every time we needed to leave the hostel, like for holidays and stuff, I needed a place to stay here in Windhoek before I go home to Okakarara. For those times that I needed to leave the hostel, I will go and stay at my cousin's place. So yeah, so I at that time I was really trying to grow spiritually. I wanted to get close to God, And one of the ways on how I wanted to get close to God was through reading this huge book, and it was titled How to Interpret the Bible. It was huge, and it had a blue cover with big words written in white, How to Interpret the Bible. And the reason why I was relying so much on that book was because I really had bad experiences with churches. I went like to 3 different churches, and I had really bad experiences. Either the pastor was hitting on younger girls, that included me, or like the people were just rude and gossiping, and just things that didn't align with Christian values. Or like people are only given respect if they have money in the church, or if they give more tithe and they get more respect than others. Those are things that just didn't sit well with me. And that's why I had this book, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna take this personal journey and get to know God for myself. So I got that book, and I was like, yeah, so like this is my opportunity. If I read this book, then perhaps I can understand the Bible better, then I can understand God better. Because I believe that when I understand God better and I get closer to God, then I will find the right church for me. And occasionally I went to CRC, but CRC was basically too far from me, and yeah, I also didn't find a home there. Cool. So one of those holidays, I went over to my cousin's place, and my cousin saw this book, and then she asked me like if I want to understand the Bible better. And I was like, yeah, like, and then I started sharing with her that I really want to understand the Bible better, and I don't want to do it through a church because I had bad experience with experiences with churches. Only the churches that I have been to. I'm not trying to say that all the churches gave me a bad experience, but the churches that I have been to, like, I really experienced some negative things. And then she was like, oh, great, because I know someone who can help you. And this is a lady that has been helping me to really understand the Bible better, to grow in my spiritual journey. And I'm pretty sure that you will like her, and you will get to understand the Bible better and grow closer to God. And I was like, for sure, like, if it's just a lady who's just focused on teaching someone the Bible, then yes, that's great. Even better than me reading a book. At least I will sit with someone and have conversations with someone, right? After that day, my cousin basically, like, she just became more involved in my life. Before that, whenever I went to her house, we were not that close, right? We just meet each other in the kitchen and greet each other, and then that's it. Basically, we never had deep conversations. But after this incident, she asked me to go out with her, and then during those like outings, she would ask me questions, trying to get to know me. And at that point, I felt so nice, like, to know that there is someone who's interested in getting to know me, getting to understand me, especially this cousin who has been so distant. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's get to know each other. I mean, we are family, for goodness sake, right? And it was so nice. And I grew up with this like void, because I'm a firstborn of the girls. So I'm a bigger sister to 2 girls. So I never knew what it was like, or how it felt like to have an older sister, someone to look up to, someone to give me advice. I never had that. Other than, I do have a cousin who I refer to as my sister. According to Ashura, she's my sister. But at that time, she was living abroad. So like, it was so nice, like, to finally have someone who's older than me, a girl who I can relate to, who can give me advice on life things. And I really open up a lot to her. and I told her everything about my life. We even went into my dating and stuff. And looking back at it now, I actually don't regret that. I am so happy that we got close to each other. Even now, like, we still respect each other, we still love each other, and we still have that bond. And I'm grateful for that time that we got to know each other. Because mind you, at that time, what she was doing was getting to know me so that she can recruit me in the cult, right? And I will get into details on how or what the tactics are that they use to recruit someone in a cult. I will get into details in that, if not in this video, then in the next video. But yeah, guys, I'm getting lost in my thoughts. But I do love her, I do respect her, and I believe that she thought she was doing the right thing, right? She was saving my soul. Okay. It's like when a Christian believes that you have to win over a soul to God, it's basically the same thing. She wanted to win me over to her church, that she believes, will be the salvation for my soul. So I believe that that was done out of love. And for her, not knowing that she was basically recruiting me in a cult. Okay, so, and then after we got to know each other, she got me into contact with the lady that she was telling me about that can explain the Bible to me. Let's name this lady A. So I met with A. A was so pretty. Oh my gosh. I started meeting with her. I think I only met with this lady twice. When I met with her, she was basically also trying to get to know me, trying to understand me, understand where I am in my faith journey. And I think we did 2 lessons together. I cannot remember what the first lesson was all about, but the second lesson was basically about the 4 fields. I think it's in Matthew somewhere, basically the 4 fields. So the field represent the heart. So basically we needed to see where my heart is within this 4 field. I think one field was filled with thorns, the other one with stones, and then the other one was a good swell. And I cannot remember what, the other one was like a plain path that's hard, that a seed cannot grow into. And so, obviously at the end of that lesson, I was not the good swell. So then the goal was basically for me to get to be the good swell. And the way that I'm gonna be a good swell is to continue meeting with this lady so that I can know the word, so that I can understand the word. So basically, according to them, the word represents the seed. And I think it's like that in many churches. So if I want the seed to grow, then I needed to work on my heart to make sure that my heart is good swell that the seed can grow into. But basically, I cannot do that myself, and then this lady will help me do that, right? So that the seed of God can fall into good swell, which is my heart, and multiply. And I was sold. I was like, yes, this is what I have been looking for. This is what I want. I want to grow spiritually. I want, when the seed of God, when the word of God falls into my heart, I want it to multiply. I want it to bring forth fruits and just multiply in all parts of my life. You get. Good. And then I think after that lesson, I was told that I was gonna be meeting with another lady. I still don't understand what the purpose of that was. Let's refer to these ladies as teachers, right? So I did not understand what the reason was for them changing a teacher for me getting another teacher. But oh well, I think they used an excuse that I don't even I cannot remember. I think they used an excuse that maybe she was busy, or I don't know. But I remember being told that this is someone who also has profound knowledge. Maybe not profound, that's a strong word, but like deep understanding of the word, and she will really help me, you know, with growing spiritually and understanding the word. And I was like, okay, my heart was a little bit heartened because I saw this lady and we got to know each other. I told her my life stories, and now you're just gonna send me to someone else. But fine. The purpose is to learn the word of God, right? And then when I started meeting with, let's call her Teacher B. When I started meeting with Teacher B, my cousin started joining me. Basically, when you are in this cult, when someone is joining you, is to basically sort of be like an accountability partner or someone who pushes you, or like an encouragement for you to continue meeting with a teacher. So my cousin joined us for, I think, 3 lessons, and then she stopped. And then I continued by myself. And then I remember specifically there was a lesson about Abraham. It was about Abraham, when Abraham was given the instructions from God to kill Isaac, right? And then she was explaining that according to the Bible, when Abraham was being asked by Sarah, where are you taking Isaac to? And when Isaac asked him, where is the lamb? He basically didn't tell the truth. So he was using wisdom. So basically he lied, in other words. And they call that lying as wisdom, because could he have told Sarah or Isaac that he was going to sacrifice Isaac, either Sarah or the workers or Isaac would have stopped him from fulfilling what God was asking him, which was to sacrifice Isaac, right? So he was using wisdom. So the lady was telling me that I must start using wisdom so that I can also fulfill what God is calling me to, which at this point is learning his word. So I cannot tell anyone that I'm learning his word or where I'm learning his word, or that I am coming to meet up with her to learn the word, because I have to use wisdom. Otherwise, if I let my family members know that I am going to learn the word with her, the devil can use my family members to try and stop me from coming to learn the word of God. So I was using wisdom. And that for me, like a red bulb in my head lighted up. I was like, what? How are you explaining lying through the Bible, with the Bible? Basically, you are literally telling me to lie, and you are using the Bible to justify that. That was probably one of the red flags. And from that point on, after that lesson, I was like, nope, nope, this is it. This is where I draw the line. I'm not going back to this lady. I am done. I'm going back to my book, and I'm gonna read my book and like understand the Bible that way. I'm good. That story of lying for the greater good and justifying it with the Bible, no, that doesn't sound right and doesn't sit right with me. And the next day I get a call from my cousin. She was like, I heard that you are not meeting with Teacher B anymore because you basically disagreed with her that lying is not good, and she cannot use lying, she cannot use the Bible to like justify lying and stuff like that. I'm like, but like it just doesn't sit right with me, and I don't think you can justify lying. You know, lying is lying. It's a sin. Like, and then my cousin was like, no, please just hear her out. I'm pretty sure that as you go through the lessons, you will start to basically, the lessons were considered a puzzle. So once you like place all the puzzle pieces together, then you'll see the bigger picture. So that lesson was just part of a puzzle. So you must give her a chance to basically teach me all the other lessons, and then from there I can decide for myself if I want to continue with it or not. First mistake, I was like, okay, fine, I will try. But then after that, it just became difficult for me to meet up with her because I was not feeling right. Like, it just didn't feel right for me to continue with her. Even though I said, okay, fine, I'll give her a chance, I was still very resistant to meeting up with her. So then my cousin suggested that we start meeting her together again. So mind you, I trust my cousin. And if she's gonna be there, then I'm just gonna go because of her. Basically, that was like my conclusion. I was like, okay, fine, I'm gonna go because of her, but I am not going to listen to anything that lady is gonna say. But I'm just gonna go there. And mind you, my cousin has been trying to buy my heart. She has been so nice to me, and there was also a time when she was giving me like kept money, so I didn't want to disappoint her by saying no, I don't want to go with you and stuff like that. So basically I just continued going with her, and yeah, I was just lying to myself. Apparently I'm just gonna sit there, I'm not gonna listen to anything that she said. Basically I was listening, right? I was listening, and at some point things started making sense to me. And I was like, oh wow, like that makes so much sense. Like I've never heard this before. And I was basically being brainwashed. Okay. And then so the desire to continue meeting with her grew stronger, and I started meeting her by myself again. So after the lessons with her, she told me that there is a bigger group, a Bible study that is going to start taking place, and they have very limited spots. And basically if I want to join, I have to go through an interview, and we must also pray so that I can get one of the spots. Like just painting this like picture that this is like once in a lifetime opportunity for me to join this group and learn the Bible. That was the picture that she was painting for me. And I was like, yes, I started praying about it, that I can get in this group. And then I think a few days passed by, and then she told me that, oh, actually they are considering you. So we just have to go and meet up with them. They're gonna have a short interview, and I shouldn't be scared. The interview is just for them to get to know me. And then she told me the date, and then basically I went and I met with this other people from the Bible study group, right? So during that meeting, they were just asking me like personal questions: how many siblings I have, my name, if I'm in a relationship, but like really like basic questions. And I think why I want to join the Bible study, and basically how I have been liking the lessons with teacher B. Cool. So after this interview, they told me where the first class is gonna be, what time and stuff like that. And then that time came for me to start going to the class. So the class was face to face, and in this class they were basically teaching Revelation. That was the main focus of the class. But before that, what did they teach before that? Before that, they were teaching parables. Yeah. Before Revelation, they were teaching parables, basically interpreting what the parables mean. So you know that Matthew is full of parables. So they were basically interpreting the parables, making us understand what the parables mean and stuff like that, before they went into teaching us Revelation. Guys, this happened a while back, okay? So my memory is not fresh, and I'm probably gonna be remembering things as I'm telling this story, right? So basically the main focus of the face-to-face Bible study group was understanding the parables in the Bible. And you know, the parables are so vague that anyone can give any interpretation to the parables, right? Yeah, just wanted to say that. But like they were interpreting the parables, and I was like, yo, for the first time, this makes so much sense. And I felt so grateful to be part of this group that can actually understand the parables in the Bible. And the motive was not to be better than anyone. The motive was not to know what everyone else doesn't know. No, the motive was to understand God, to get closer to God, to understand the word of God. You get? But yeah, guys, and basically I was enjoying these classes. Oh yeah, also like the first day of class, I saw my cousin there, and then she was like, oh no, she's just like, she's coming, she already did the classes, but she's just coming back to sort of like for reinforcement, and like, you know, just doing it again for the sake of learning, right? And then I saw another cousin of mine, and then a friend of mine, and I was like, wow, that's like a coincidence, basically. But yeah, so then I was so excited, like there are these people that I know, and that was like a great social activity that we can do together. And while we do it, we are getting to know God, and there is fellowship, and like, you know, like a whole community. And it was so nice because there were also other students. And yeah, the classes was a nice experience, that I can tell you. After each class we will have snacks. Was it after each class or during a break? I think it was like there was a break halfway through the class, and during that break we'll get snacks. You know, I was staying in the hostel, so like hostel girl and snacks. When you're in the hostel, when you hear this food, you want to be there, you want to go eat the food. So that was a motivating factor. And one of the things about these classes is that you couldn't miss a class, because remember, it's a puzzle. You need to put the puzzle pieces together to see the bigger picture. So if you miss a lesson, it's like you missing a puzzle, and you will not understand the bigger picture. It's like watching a series. Like they used to use like a lot of analogies like that. So you cannot miss it, otherwise you won't understand. So you needed to be there for every class. If you are not there, they will come and get you and carry you to the classes. But I remember one day I was so sick. I think I had like stomach bug or food poisoning, and I was sick. I ended up going to the hospital. My cousin and teacher A. Yeah, I met teacher A again in the Bible classes. My cousin and teacher A came to get me from the hospital. But that was after I saw the doctor. They came to pick me up, and then they drove me to the class. By that time I have missed half of the class, so then I needed to catch up to be with the rest of the class. And this story of not missing the class, you understand it better as we go through the series, because it was basically training us for one specific thing, and I will tell you. And yeah, guys, so basically in this Bible study group, what they were doing is they were brainwashing us, and they were basically attaching their own interpretations to the Bible. This was even before we started with Revelation, but basically most of the parables for them was like the way they even taught it. The parables most of them were pointing to one person, and this person is basically the person that they call the promised pastor, right? So it's like you couldn't argue with them, because everything that they are saying is according to the Bible. And there's only one person, this promised pastor, right, who can basically give a clear interpretation of the Bible and a clear interpretation of the parables and Revelation. Okay, so remember that I said that the focus of this Bible study class was the parables. So this interpretation came from him, right? This revealed word came from him, and that's how we were able to understand the parables. And I was like, dang, so that makes so much sense, you know? So it makes so much sense that there is a person who actually understands this in order for us to understand this. Reflect number 2, there's the promise pastor, and the word can only come from him. The revealed word can only come from him. So the revealed word is the interpretation of what we don't understand in the Bible. I hope that makes sense. So guys, I was and they used the Old Testament to justify this. They used, you know, like in each and every era there was a chosen pastor. So in the Old Bible, there was Moses who was chosen to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. And there was, who else did they use? There was Jesus, the promised pastor, right? It was Jesus who was like, at that time, he was the only one who could give the truth at the first coming. And now there is someone through whom Jesus is walking through to give the truth. So like these patterns make sense in my head, right? Because they explain it according to the Old Testament to the time of Jesus' first coming. And now, like they try to create these patterns through the word. And if it makes a pattern, then you would think that that makes sense. So it's not odd, it's not weird at all, because it has been happening ever since the beginning of time. Ever since the New Testament, ever since the Old Testament, right? So who am I to question God's ways now? Who am I? He has been doing the same ever since, right? So then we were being told we must actually be grateful to God that he revealed to us his promised pastor at the time of the second coming, and that there is actually someone who can give us the word of life, the truth, the only word that can save us at the second coming. So they were basically grooming us to be really grateful to God for giving us this person. So in return, also being grateful to this person who is giving us the bread of life. Ne? Makes sense? Makes sense. And I was like, wow. Like me, out of everyone, God, you chose me to reveal your word to me. Please make me your vessel. Let me be your vessel. Let me spread this word and bring many to you. That was my mindset already in a Bible class, guys. I was sold. I was like, this is the work of God. You can see the patterns by in the Bible. They are justifying everything with the Bible to the core. To the core, guys. I was like, wow. And you know, the people from the study group, from the Bible study, boy, those people were filled with love and kindness and joy. And I was just like, boy, I want to be like this. So this is what it means to have the word of God within your hearts. This is what it means to do the work of God and to be a servant of God. You just radiate joy, love, kindness, peace, you know. I'm only supposed to do the Bible classes for, I think it was 6 months, if I'm not mistaken. Was it 6 months or 9 months? I cannot remember quite well. And then, you know, and then I thought like, okay, fine, then it's gonna be done. And then it's done. Little did I know. So throughout the classes, before the classes got to a stop, they were like, you know, you need to continue growing. You need to be at a place where this truth is being given at. And so that's how I got introduced to their church. So before everything, even in the like you meeting one-on-one with a teacher, so me meeting with teacher A and teacher B and coming to the Bible study classes for 6 months, like before that, you are not told what church they are from. You basically don't have an idea of what church these people are from, because they say that they are non-denominational. They say that they are non-denominational. They are basically not from a specific church, but their only goal is to spread the word of God and to spread the truth. And you are also not told about there is a promised pastor. You are not told about that. You are only told these things towards the end of the Bible classes in the bigger group. And the people who don't make it to the end, they don't find out that this was the church. So, or there's a promised pastor. So this church, guys, this church I'm talking about, the cult that I'm talking about, is SCJ. It's the full name is Shincheonji Church of Jesus. That's the name of the cult that I joined unknowingly. So this is basically a cult from Korea. And we are not told anything basically up towards the end, when our hearts have been sold, when our brains have been washed. That's when they tell us. They tell us like slowly but surely. And the way that they justify that is that you cannot give solid food to an infant, but you must slowly introduce the solid food to the solid food to an infant as they are growing. So at the beginning of the journey, you are basically seen as a newborn, as an infant who is growing, who can only drink milk. I think there's also a verse in the Bible about that. That's what they used. And so only like as you grow up, as you have matured, then you can get the solid food. So the solid food was the raw truth that this is SCJ. We have a promised pastor. And this is SCJ, basically from Korea. So the way that I was introduced to the promised pastor was, of course, through the parables, and them showing me how most of the parables were leading to one person. And then the next moment was like we're playing a voice recording of him praying. And I remember having this reaction. I don't know what it was, but like there's like goosebumps, and I was crying. I was sobbing out of gratitude for this man that I have never met, and that I was basically made to believe that he is the promised pastor, the man who is supposed to save the whole world from sin and bring the whole world to God's kingdom, which is SCJ. Guys, this story is very complex to tell, but I hope that you are following. So then we got introduced to the church, and then there was a thing called Passover. So basically passing over for them is referred to passing over, like coming from the earth to the, was like that, guys. I forgot that teachings, but basically coming from death to life, yeah, and being saved from the world to God's kingdom. Yeah, that is how I joined the church. So basically during Passover we wear black and white. So we were supposed to wear white shirts, like official shirts, and black trousers or black dress with black stocking. And then on that day we attend service at the church itself. So the members of the church, they sort of like prepare a welcome room for us that is really nicely decorated, and they stand in 2 rows like this, and then we pass in the middle, and then like they see and clap for us. We have been saved, we are coming to life, we are coming to God's kingdom. And it's just there's things that they do to evoke the feelings of euphoria in you, you know. And yeah, like during those times when you are in the classes, when you're in the Bible study, and when you're passing over, you feel so special. So if you pass over recently, you are called a newcomer, and you are called baby. So you are basically babies in God's kingdom. Everyone treats you so nice with so much respect, and everyone loves you, and you cannot do wrong in anyone's eyes. It was just so like this. Yeah, the correct word that I'm looking for is love bombing. You are basically love bombed, like to the core of your bones. They will love bomb you. And you know, if you come from a place where you don't feel loved or welcome, come into this place, it's like a whole new world where you are welcomed, where you are loved, and it just feels so nice to be part of a community like that. So yeah, guys, that is how I basically joined a cult unknowingly. I know it was a lot. I said, why is my camera moving? Yeah, but I know it was a lot. I said a lot, and I don't know if I lost you guys somewhere. Hopefully I did not. If you have questions, please drop them in the comment section. In the next video, I'm going to be talking about my experience being in the cult. And then my next video after that one, I'm probably going to be talking about how I got out. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. If you have watched until the very end, I'm basically concluding that you did like this video, so give it a thumbs up. If you know someone who might be interested in watching this video, please do share with them. And yeah, guys, please, if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. Let's grow this channel together. Okay, guys, see you in my next one. Bye.